All right. Hello, welcome to the weekly Wednesday at lunchtime live stream on YouTube and Facebook this week. I am DDO's community manager, Cordovan, and I really do appreciate you being here. There was a time when maybe we were going to be taking a look at Update 53 today, but that is not happening. Instead, I think it's tomorrow. But I'm going to take that opportunity to share some fun stuff with you, since we're right on the cusp of getting Update 53 out the door, most likely tomorrow. I've heard nothing here by noon today saying it's not happening tomorrow, so we should be good to go with the release of Update 53 on Thursday. So I'm going to go over some kind of work-in-progress release notes, show you a little bit about the anniversary stuff that we got going on, and maybe I can do something super sweet even here in just a second. So you liked my shirt on the Lotra side last week. I don't remember what I was wearing. Sorry. All right. Yeah, and we'll also talk a little bit about, say, the latest news, because we do actually have some. It's been a very busy week here, so I really appreciate everyone being here today. Yeah, Warforged is the new 400. I don't know what that means, you know. I mean, many of them are probably already 400, but now you can be Warforged with 400 favor instead of Drow, and Drow are going to be going free. We're going to have that, though, in just a second. Any news on the level update, Life After Level 30? The producer's letter, I think, talks a little bit about that, and we will talk about that here in just a little bit. Is that a super low-def TV in the back? It is indeed. It is indeed an old CRT television used for the occasional Atari and retro game console. But it's mostly just right now being my cool backdrop, so. Does that mean the Drow agent will be changed to be a Warforged NPC? No, as a matter of fact, I think Nyx is staying exactly where they are. Nyx is not changing, because it's not just for that, but you actually use it for, what, a couple of things, right? Not? I don't know. Either way, I think the answer is no. All right, so let me get to the news here, though, in a little bit. Assuming everything goes well, in the next couple of hours, like, say, mid-afternoon, we should have a downtime notice for Update 53 going out live tomorrow. We'll probably have a 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. downtime, most likely. And when we go live, Update 53 will be out the door. And did I... There we go. And this will be a thing. So there's a little tease, huh? I thought that was pretty cool, so I'm sharing that with you today. That should be live on our YouTube channel tomorrow. But wait, that's not all. I've got other cool stuff for you too, like the Update 53 release notes that are not yet live on DDO.com, but will be in the next couple of hours. And so, hello everyone on the live stream. I'm totally not complete yet. These are the Update 53 release notes that'll be going live most likely tomorrow. We've got the Hunter and Hunted free adventure pack, free to VIPs, available in the DDO store. Hunter and Hunted includes 2 dungeons and a raid at level 32 on legendary difficulty. Quests are level 7 on heroic. The NPCs are in their own little small public space, and you'll be getting there from the hut from beyond in the harbor. You're not going to Wynwood Hall or any of that kind of thing, because you don't need to have Fables of the Feywild in order to run this, despite it being a Feywild themed pack. The anniversary event's coming back as well. That is going to be kicking off live when we go live with Update 53 tomorrow, and it's going to be running through March 20th. You can trade your anniversary tokens, what with, actually that might be old things because we're not doing tokens. Anyway, that's why the release notes aren't done yet. This is a copy-paste from the 15th year rather than the 16th, as you can see in the copy. Anyway, here's the actual thing, though, that I'm going to fix when we go live for tomorrow. The new stuff this year, once per day, characters can speak to the Anniversary Genie outside of the Anniversary Dungeon in House Fjarlin to select a choice of red, blue, green, pink, and silver. You can pick one outfit per day. There's no limit on the number of outfits you can pick other than the once per day per character limit. It's kind of an anti-flood thing and everything. If you want to spend every day through December 31st picking up a red Anniversary outfit from the Genie, you are welcome to do so. Good luck, your inventory will suffer. But basically that means you can just pick whatever you want over the course of the event, as you wish it. Red, blue, green, pink, silver, 16th anniversary. I think they're sort of a coat-like thing. And I will let the update go live before we take a look at that. The Genie will be available to acquire the cloaks through December 31st, and the anniversary event will run through March 20th. It's not underway, but it will be when Update 53 goes live. Tomorrow, the other stuff added to the anniversary event. We do have a few cool little things inside of the event that we're going to not do anything but just say that about for now. But we also have masks and capelets that are matching the free coats. And we also added some previous anniversary gifts. So we had the biggie that we added this year is the Sentient Jewel of the Dragon to the anniversary event barter UI. That was one of the previous anniversary rewards. We're also giving out the 15th anniversary cloak if you didn't get it last time. There were a few of you. And I was like, well, can we add that back again? And I was like, yeah, sure. So we're doing that. 15th anniversary cloak, you get another chance. And then the robe, medium, heavy armors of Celebration and the medium and heavy docents of Celebration, those are coming back. They're going into the barter for the anniversary event. And that's really the new stuff. You know, the anniversary event doesn't have a whole lot of new loot, but it has a lot of returning loot, and particularly like with that Sentient Jewel of the Dragon, of course. That's going to be something that, you know, we gave out in very limited supply when we gave that out. And so now you're going to have a much larger opportunity to take advantage of that Sentient Gem with the release of the anniversary event this year. So we're pretty happy to bring that to the, permanently, I believe, to the barter vendor there. So, as mentioned in the producer's letter last Friday, we're making a whole bunch of things free. In the Core D&D Player's Handbook, the following races and classes from the Core D&D Player's Handbook are now permanently free for everyone in DDO. That means Dragonborn, Drow, Gnome, Half-Elf, Half-Orc, Tiefling, Wood Elf, and the classes Druid, Monk, and Warlock. If you already bought that stuff, you'll get a greater elixir of discovery for each of the races and classes you own. So if, for example, you own all that stuff, you are going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 greater elixirs of discovery at your own prior to the release of Update 53. Essentially, when, as part of the Update 53 release cycle, it says, well, let's query everyone's accounts, figure out what you got, and give you your stuff. Or at least put into place where you can get your stuff. Because, here's the other cool feature, you'll speak with Jubilee the Discoverer on the bottom floor of the Eberron Hall of Heroes to get one bound to account greater elixir of discovery for each feature you had previously purchased. You may only claim each feature's elixir once in total across all characters and servers. So please use caution if you play on multiple servers. Here's the big upside to that, though. Let's say you have 10 of them. You can claim one or a couple on one world, a couple on the other world, based on sort of just be a little careful as you're going through the list and claiming the stuff, right? But it lets you kind of spread it out carefully, and that's why we're using this system this time. Is we're able to, rather than, we wanted to use the NPC because it works pretty good since Saltmarsh in terms of preventing customer service tickets and accidental acquisitions on characters you didn't want, etc. You got to do the work by speaking to Jubilee the Discoverer in the Eberron Hall of Heroes, and you will get one per feature. But if, like many of us, you've got multiple features, this gives you the opportunity to do that on different worlds. Except for hardcore. None of the, you cannot redeem it on hardcore. Here's the other cool thing. This is one line that means a lot as far as I'm concerned. VIPs, after tomorrow's patch, assuming we go live with Update 53 tomorrow, we'll get daily gold rolls on daily dice for the remainder of 2022. That means through the server time, probably 11:59 p.m. Eastern on December 31st, 2022. We'll most likely get your... I think that's the way it's going to have to work. Maybe we'll set it for 9 a.m. the next day or something just to be nice. But free daily gold rolls. And all you got to do is be VIP. So you don't have to buy anything, you know, to buy a season pass or whatever that was. The one time we did it. And I think a lot of people got a lot of value out of that. So I think for some people, maybe it won't mean as much, but I think ask the folks who took advantage of the season pass offer and spent the money, was it 3 years ago now or whatever it was, how much they enjoyed that free gold daily dice. I think we got a winner here. So, and this is just, if you're VIP, you're going to get it. So, maybe be VIP if you want. Okay, so the rest of the news and notes. Absolute Zero will now apply its frozen crowd control to fire enemies immune to death. A Druidic Oath will now only alert you while breaking your oath if you become oath-breaking from a state where you are not oath-breaking, thus preventing overspam. Druidic Stonehenge will work with Dire Bear. Strength Domain now only bases your reflex on strength if it's higher than your dex. Failing a concentration roll will generate feedback on the avatar. So we actually have... there was a really funny screenshot going around from the in-house dev that I may have to see if I can dig up somewhere, where, because the developer wanted to make sure it was working, the person chose to use a very large font on your screen to show when you failed a concentration roll, and it was very amusing. However, in reality, it should be a much smaller thing, but it's going to basically say, it's going to tell you now when you fail your concentration check, will give you a little bit of visual feedback on your character, so that should be pretty good. When the feed elusive target triggers, it now displays a visual over your character's head to know it applied. The stuff that we had originally in Update 53 related to Artificer, Iron Defenders, and Druid Wolf Pets is coming here now, or it was going to maybe be in 52 point something, or whatever it was. It's now in 53. So an Artificer, Iron Defender Pets, and Druid Wolf Pets have had some of their animations adjusted. Some were not scaling with attack speed, and now do. And some that were missing, and kind of made it look like they were standing around confused, have now been corrected. Like these release notes need to be before tomorrow. The Bluff and Intimidate active abilities have been removed from Iron Defender and Wolf Pets for the time being. We plan on returning these in future updates. Or a future update. We have the Heal on Undead work on better for more people. But back to the Iron Defender stuff now that we're into enhancements. It's now granted automatically as you go up in level. We're getting rid of that old crusty, perhaps slightly lag-inducing enhancement system and replacing it with an automatic grant. You'll gain them at the previous minimum level of your enhancements. Alignment enhancements will not be automatically granted because they're exclusive. You'll do that through an Artificer Trainer to select your pet's alignment. There'll be an effect that'll display on your pet. It'll remain until you change or reincarnate. If you want to do Breaker of Boxes, go Chaotic. For both Defender and Wolf Pets, the threat generation reduction enhancements will be the very same thing. You'll talk to an Artificer or Druid Trainer to select either -40 threat, 0 threat, or +100 threat for melee attacks. Same thing, except it also stacks with sources of increased or reduced melee threat. All other sources. They've also had... Okay, this I've got a duplicate on the animations adjusted, but that's there now. And they now have a baseline fort of 100% at all levels that stacks with gear and feats, enhancements, etc. Fate Arc Illusory Augmentation now correctly grants its bonus. Beacon of Hope Tree, Hope for Success, now Hope's better. I'm not going to go through all this stuff. I guess for the most part, we've got some work done on Fate Singer. A couple of bugs thing there. Fixed an issue with Shadow Dancer that was causing you to accidentally hurt yourself. And then, yes, the Warforged thing. Warforged now awarded on a per-server basis for 400 favor, replacing the Drow race, which is now free if you already got 400 favor. An unlocked Drow on a server, then Warforged will automatically unlock for you when you log in with a character on that server that has at least 400 favor and previously claimed the rank of Drow from Nyx. So, as long as you've claimed a Drow, essentially, and have a character with at least 400 favor, log into that character with at least 400 favor, and it'll auto-grant. If you don't have a character with at least 400 favor, you're one of the edge cases, unfortunately, where you're going to have to earn 400 favor again and speak to Nyx to get Warforged. However, in reality, we think that's probably a pretty small number of people who are really going to be genuinely impacted by that. And unfortunately, there's no other way we can kind of do it through the auto-grant system that's in place. So that's why it's being done that way. But for most folks, it's just going to be logged in and you get it. So there you go. Mounting a mount will no longer turn off the rune arm use feat, and instead suppress your rune arm charge until you're dismounted. Bloody footprints fixed for Warforged male, female, inquisitive, shifter male, all styles, tiefling male, one-handed shield style, drow both genders, inquisitive style. As you can see, it's a little bit of whack-a-mole. These goofy bloody footprints. But this, I think, should largely take care of the ones that remain. On items, we got some cool things. You can now barter for Sansaminic Terran Wilderness loot from Masay Mkembe's barter shop and Zawabi's refuge if you have antique bronze tokens to spare. We've got some other things that you can just read. We fixed an issue with the Hardcore Season 5 vendor. If you had an issue where you claimed, say, death watches you and death follows you out of order, this is now fixed. We made commendations from the Evening Star factions, bound to accounts that are bound to character. Yay! Alchemical elemental attunement effects now correctly work on both melee and ranged attacks. Yay! Animated armors no longer heal from negative energy. Okay. Relevant monsters in Hunter and Hunted added to the monster manuals. Yeah, we did it. We actually did it at release. A new NPC is available in Evening Star, the Ball and Chain and Wayloon, the Blue Water, and Ravenloft, near the entrance from Eberron in the Feywild Wilderness, outside the tavern, near the Fountain in Sharn, and the Snapping Line Inn in Saltmarsh. This is a person. It's a new NPC that's going to be available really throughout the game world that sells augments in exchange for their local ingredients. So some of the Sharn, say, ingredients you're picking up. The War Wizard Evening Star widgets, that kind of stuff, in many cases now will be able to be used to pick up augments from an NPC called Randall Lyric. Alright, we got some changes to the Cordovan and Steel Star fights, new jokes, in-jokes, and secrets scattered throughout. We've done some work on the Kobold path for the anniversary event, including replacing some kobolds with rats. No, that isn't a bug. It's actually a performance-related decision. Thinning out some spawn numbers, also related. And adjusting some aggro settings, also related. Also, that means that if you are kind of sneaking your way through the kobold path or caring more about aggro, we should have fewer kind of aggro around walls and corners and things like that in that path. We also fixed an issue where you might sometimes have needed to run the kobold path a second time if you did the whole dialogue with Jeets and Militia somewhat incorrectly. That's now been fixed, so you'll be able to kind of go back through the door as long as you've been there basically once. Few other kind of minor things I don't need to get into, other than we did fix some of the stat pass in the Red Fens. So if you've been having problems in Into the Deep in the Red Fens, this should in particular be a little bit better now. Yeah, a couple other bugs. Okay, so related to, I believe someone actually earlier in chat, and I know I haven't actually looked at chat yet, I'm kind of just focusing on the show, and I will get to Q&A later. But related to spell targeting, yes, we do have a fix-in with Update 53. We have fixed an issue with spells that appeared inside of enemies when they were hard targeted that would sometimes cause the target to fail for the enemy. This is things like Holy Smite, Chaos Hammer, Flame Strike, pretty much anything that's a hard target, kind of internal target to a mob that you're going to be dropping something on. So hopefully we'll have far fewer, if any, kind of misfires, as long as you're, properly targeted there. We also lowered the screen shake and flash effect for Meteor Swarm. This is an accessibility issue as much as anything, and it's kind of nice to see that finally happen there. We have some new UI options as well. Show filigree descriptions on off. When active, the filigree will display their descriptions, and when inactive, only the names are shown. Sometimes that's all you really want to see, or you just want to lower the chats or the spam on it, right? Same with uncompleted sets. When active, set bonuses display both set bonuses you have active and bonuses inactive. When off, only active set bonuses are displayed. And then prevent heal soft targeting. This toggle forces your healing spells to use your hard target or self-target and not a soft target. I myself actually don't see myself using this, but as a healer, I know there are quite a few people out there who are going to be pretty happy to see that as an option. We did make a few kind of like text description stuff for filigree set bonuses. The spell selector window will now remember its position. Yay! There we go. Same with the examination window. You can now delete all confirmed mail. Won't happen though if you've got anything with an attachment. Sorry, storage folks. But you don't want to delete that stuff anyway, right? The empty slots field of the stored inventory panel will now match its background area, blah, blah, blah. Oh. So this is very complex kind of engineering kind of talk. But this MISC thing is fairly significant in that it's the next step in our ongoing game performance optimization and quote lag work. So it's worth bringing mention by me on the live stream here today. We're improving how the quest system reveals an objective when a monster is near a player in an effort to improve game performance. Essentially, we're making it far more efficient than it was. When you get close to, like, say, a monster and then an objective would pop up, so you got to kill that thing. Behind the scenes, it was often querying things beyond that. And so we're cutting that down. Same basic idea of dungeon event processing for certain objectives. Yeah, this is all just the brains of the dungeon talking to itself, right? So there's nothing public per se there. But we have hopefully made far more efficient some of our dungeon event processing. And that's something that I think we could further target in the future. So all that to say that when update 53 goes live tomorrow, we will be very curious to see what, if any, impact it has had. And on top of that, we have sort of diagnostics and such in place that will allow us to know what kind of impact it's had on, all the hardware sort of KPIs and all that sort of thing that they're looking at, right? So we'll be able to see, has it made a difference kind of behind the scenes? Has it made a public difference? But we'll see. We'll see. Nothing we do is ever going to fix lag. I think it would be lovely if that were true. If that ever is true during my life, you are going to see an exceptionally elated Cordovan on the live stream. But I think the reality is what you do, though, is you make improvement over time, and we make improvement to what we've seen of late. And so hopefully that will be the case after tomorrow, and we'll be curious to see what, if any, kind of feedback you have associated with that. So, there we go. All right, so that's the release notes. I'm going to do a quick Q&A then before I move on to something else. Make sure I actually go through people's chat. Oh, and Steam, right? Yes, yes. I will. Thank you for bringing it to my attention. Yes, I actually do need to update the Steam page for update 53 as well. We're going to get that key art and such up on the Steam page. So, DDO Titan, did you see the big thing? Hello, everyone on the live stream. I am totally not complete yet. That's what I meant. All right. Why is there no outfit of celebration? I remember back in the day, it was a decision was made to not do separate robes and outfits for the armor of celebration. And I think it was largely because they were deemed to be pretty darn close in what they would end up like. And so we just didn't do that. But yes, we could someday maybe add an outfit there. Is Renania the producer for DDO as well? No, but I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that in just a second here. Yep. Let me go over to Facebook. Take care of chat there. Saltmarsh will be hitting the store this month. I'm assuming it is this Thursday. I will have to double check on that. But we had said we were releasing it in February. We're releasing new things on Thursday, and this is the last Thursday of February. So I'm going to assume the answer is yes on that. But for the anniversary and such, we'd be releasing Saltmarsh for points in the DDO store, I suspect. Also, before I get too far, I know we're about halfway through the show now. When next we meet, DDO is going to be a little bit older. It will officially be able to drive in the United States. So happy 16th anniversary, DDO. And that's going to be on Monday, February 28th. Technically Saturday, if you're one of the people who pre-ordered and was able to get in, kind of the early days thing. But the 28th of February is typically where we mark the retail launch of Dungeons & Dragons Online back in 2006. And that's on Monday. So happy 16th anniversary, DDO. Also, I will be live on Twitch at some point that Monday. I think it's going to be a more casual anniversary event this year because everyone's busy, myself included, and I don't really have time for like a 12-hour long live stream marathon. I just don't. But I do have time. I'm going to make time, even if it's that night myself, on my own, to pop on the Game Worlds on Cordovan. I may stream it, I may not. I haven't decided, but I'm also going to stream. Whether I do the admin thing on the stream, I'm thinking about not doing it on stream this year, because every year I do the admin visit on stream, it tanks the servers, it's a mess, people can get unhappy because they take time out of their day to try to show up and then they can't, etc., etc. So I'm thinking about doing it off-air this time around, just kind of pop into the Game Worlds, and that does mean that only some people get to see me and not everybody, because I'm not going to, super announce it. But it works better, because then people get a bunch of free stuff and I can pop on to different locations, and in general, more people get more stuff, I have found over the years. But we'll see. We'll see. I may do it public just to be nuts because I'm goofy that way. So that's what we might have going on there. All right. Okay, Jim, you put in a bug report at the help site about the Nightmare Mount not transferring from hardcore, but I've not yet heard back. I don't know if I saw your ticket, but I saw a ticket related to that. The sad truth is that your mount stable does not transfer between worlds. That's working as intended. So any mounts you buy, you want to consume the certificate to add it to your mount stable on the world in which you want to add that mount to. So if you purchased the mount certificate on the hardcore world, consumed it on the hardcore world, and then transferred off the hardcore world, it's technically working as intended that it did not come with you. However, hardcore gets wiped. You'd spent money in the DDO store for it, and I think we'd like to help you out anyway. But just to be aware for the general public here, whenever you win pet certificates or mount certificates, or I don't know, maybe however you get a mount certificate, right? Make sure you consume it on the world you want to apply it to, because that does not transfer between worlds. It's especially true when you get stuff on hardcore that you probably don't want to consume it on hardcore unless you're okay. Like maybe you've got it on every other world already anyway, so it's fine. And you want, or you really want it for the next 90 days or whatever on the hardcore world, and you don't care if it's going away, right? But in your specific case, I don't know if I saw your specific case, but I saw a specific case this week, and I think, hopefully we'll be able to get to you sooner rather than later. But technically, it's working as intended. And I know in your case, I think we would want to help you out anyway. But I can't speak for CS there, so I don't know what the result will be. But that would be my suspicion, is we'll just remind you of what I just told you and then get you a new one. Assuming we have records of it being purchased in the DDO store, which presumably you have, so. Yep. Can the keys for the Ice Festival be used the next time it returns? My understanding is yes. We don't deprecate those, so you should be able to reuse the keys for the Snow Peaks Festival when next it returns. Rick did not get your Cloak of Destiny, even though you had the requirements for it when there was a launch. We have a whole bunch of people who, and I'm sure, again, that everything you're telling, that, you earned one. I'm not trying to say you didn't earn one. But we had a fair number of tickets of people who thought they should get a Cloak of Destiny because they had unlocked maybe every Destiny tree, or had maxed out Epic Karma, XP, things like that. Or they thought they had all their Epic Destiny trees maxed out, but there was like that much on one of the trees that they just never bothered to fill in because they swapped Destinies and didn't think about it. And unfortunately, there was maybe a few more people than you might think. I'm sure that's not you, though, so hopefully they'll be able to get your Cloak of Destiny back. But I am just saying, it's a lot of people. Not a lot. But the number of people who have said, I didn't get my Cloak of Destiny, who, once we've looked, actually earned all of the Epic Destiny XP on all of the Epic Destinies, has so far proven to be pretty close to all of them. Just saying. So, yep. And unfortunately, do you know who's one of those people? But then, of course, I did. Yeah. All right. So, this too will be posted tomorrow, not today, but it's kind of in a staging state for tomorrow because I'm working on the release notes and everything for today. We're basically repeat what we put in the release notes on its own anniversary page. It'll be ddo.com/16th anniversary. And it'll go into some detail about how this sort of thing is going to work. We can add to it if we end up having to. Oh, actually, like you can see right now, I haven't actually filled in the cloaks in NPC, and it's not cloaks, it's coats in NPC, and it's through December 31st in that case. Free gold rolls as well. Yeah, this is 11:59 p.m. Eastern, -5 GMT, December 31st. So again, remember, work in progress here, right? And then I just have a repeat of what's in the anniversary event, and then a quick reminder of the party punch. So that page will be going live tomorrow as well. And then I did want to call out that last Friday we did publish the DDO producers letter, and that introduces our new producer, Amanda Groh, Tolero of DDO Cast fame. Yeah, anyway, yeah. Tolero and I go back a long ways, virtually. She was, if not, she was one of the very first, perhaps the first person that I reached out to back in 2007 to help out with the podcast for DDO Cast. She was the first person, I think she was the first person. Maybe it was Xylo. I can't remember who it was. One of the very first people to help out with the show. And yeah, she kind of came into then Turbine from the community, quite a few years earlier than I did, 3 or whatever. But then I was able to follow suit. So there's a cool history there, and I think when you look at, if you write the history of DDO, the fact that Tolero in 2022 became the producer of Dungeons & Dragons Online is about the coolest thing ever. So congratulations, Tolero, on that. I did want to just kind of say, you can find this letter on DDO.com. You can read along. I'm not going to go through all of this, but you can see our roadmap here that we have Hunter and Hunted. That's where we are right now. We've got the 16th anniversary celebration happening as of tomorrow. Update 54 in quarter 2 will be Isle of Dread. Hardcore Season 6, and then we're going to try to refresh DDO.com in time for Isle of Dread. That's the goal. Q3 is going to have a refresh of Crystal Cove and update 55, which we can't really say anything about yet because of... And then update 50 because of also, and updated Character Bank. And then we're even going to get new forums someday. So that's kind of the shorthand look at the quarterly letter. And the goal is we're not necessarily going to be held to quarterly, but that's the plan, is to basically do something roughly quarterly. Rather than try to ballpark a full year and be often less accurate. And again, this was when we announced all the freebies. If you haven't seen the dino pics, these are obviously work in progress screenshots from Isle of Dread. That one is kind of a pre-texture render. This is obviously a concept art. And this is sort of a post-texture render. But related to the question that started YouTube chat, Tolero mentioned, one thing I will tell you now is that with this expansion, there's going to be a level cap increase further into the legendary levels up to level 32. So to your question about have we announced when the level cap increase and what it will be, the answer is yes. Q2, Isle of Dread, level 32. There's also quite a bit of work related to kind of lag game performance. I'm not going to repeat that. We're updating a classic adventure pack. I can't say anything more than that. A familiar villain's up to some new trouble later this year. New character build options later this year, but we're not ready to kind of do the unveiling of that conceptually yet. But we've got something kind of big potentially happening there. We're going to be finally doing the character bank. And that's something that, gosh, 5 years ago now, maybe? 4, 3, something like that. 'Twas many summers ago that we debuted. We tried to do a updated character bank, and at that time it wasn't quite ready. And so we ended up having to pull back that work. So some of what you saw then will be familiar to you with this new character bank, but a lot of it's going to kind of look and operate differently as well. So we're looking forward to being able to finally offer you a whole bunch more bank space, and then also hopefully have a what we suspect should be somewhat noticeable impact on game performance as well. Because that character bank is old. It's a very old system. And it dates back really for quite some time. So we have typically found that as we sort of kind of redo these things for the modern era, we find some ways to get significant improvements to them as well. Thanks to our smart engineers and others. But I would expect to see some improvements, some pretty significant improvements, hopefully, to the character bank here later this year. So that's really what we have. The only other piece I would just real quick mention, because this was super in depth, and that is we did have where did I put that? Here we go. We did have an interview this week, or last Friday. Strim Tom sat down with Tolero on YouTube, and that was 2 hours and 21 minutes. So it really goes for veteran DDO players in particular. I think you're going to get a lot of value out of watching that. Maybe you could watch it in parts or something, but it really kind of goes a lot more into who we are as a team, what our philosophy is, how things have come about, what we're planning. A lot of good stuff in there. So please do consider checking it out, and give Stream Tom that like and subscribe or whatever. So that's pretty cool. All right, I think I'm done with the news. I don't know what the bonus is tomorrow yet. Will the new character bank be similar to the shared bank format then? You prefer the existing grid bank format. Now, the answer is yes and no. One of the biggest pieces of feedback we received originally when we did this character bank revamp is there are still people who want a desire for that, 4x4 style grid tab-based format, or 5x4, whatever it is, right? 5x4. Grid-based format. But that's the core of the problem. Because in order to do that, that means it's permanently there bloating out your character. I think we're going to try to go for something that is hybrid, where you'll still have the ability to do some functionality and organization, but I don't think we'll be able to do that formal icon in a grid, kind of scenario. I think it's going to have to change if we want to improve game performance and a few other things. So I think we may, to some extent, see some pretty significant changes to the character bank visually, but functionally the intention is to allow for some good sorting in that. If you still want to have, this section's for my 16 to 20 gear, this section's for 20 to 24, or something like that, the hope is that we can facilitate that through the updated character bank system. Does that mean we're touching the TR cache too? I don't think we're going to be touching the TR cache as part of this work. The potential to eventually apply some of this work to the TR cache certainly seems like, it seems like something that could be related someday in the future. But the answer is no. We're not going to be doing the TR cache when we update the character. All right. Gosh, is it really 12:51? I barely even have anything left to... I talked for an hour. Can we at some point get a save gear set up like a wardrobe? Oh, in our dreams. Maybe someday. That sure would be cool. I mean, we do a lot of brainstorming in the office, and so that kind of thing has for sure come up about how much we'd love to do that kind of thing. Who knows if what will ever be possible, but how neat would that be, right? Or even like a save character state. Let's just say you're pretty well set on your TR. You're pretty well set on your choices from level 1 to 10 or whatever, and you're applying a XP stone, how cool would it be to just sort of like save your level up state? That would be pretty neat too. All right, what am I doing? So I only have 10 minutes left, so I'm not really going to do anything for the remainder of the show. I think I'm going to most likely get back to work a little early. But I did want to just kind of bum around a little bit, fix my live stream. And just kind of give you a little heads up about maybe what I'm going to do in the coming weeks here for Update 53 and beyond. I've got this Mock Duck Paladin that I've been looking to play for a while on Kenneth. Similar to what I was doing briefly on Argo and Miscellaneous, I need to get my gear in a better state. This person in particular, this is a character that, as you can see, is you know, a Drow 28 pointer, first life. So I think I'm going to probably TR this character at some point. But I'm thinking about, in the relatively near future, kind of doing a little work on Kenneth after I'm done with Argo here. So I kind of wanted to just briefly introduce you to this character right now. And you can see this character has got basically nothing. I think this was a hardcore character that I transferred and then leveled up a little bit, but you can see I'm still using really low level gear. I don't have epic gear yet. I did just hit level 20. And I'm going through Evening Star, so this character has a lot of work to do. Thankfully I at least have that, huh? Got my ghostly and striding, but a lot of work to do. So I think in the relatively near future, this character is going to be featured on the live stream. And like I said, I think I'm going to TR before I really go back into Epic. So it may be a little while yet, unless I choose to just use maybe an autos box or something. For official stream use reasons, of course. Not because I don't want to level the 120 again. No, okay, no, yes. So we'll see. This character will probably be doing that. And you can see I'm just pretty basic. But I think this might be the future character here that we take a look at on the live stream next. I did a bunch of work on Sunday, finally clearing out their inventory, getting the bank sorted, checking out favor rewards, just doing a bunch of kind of clerical work to get this person ready to start running and doing various things for the stream. So since I was doing that most recently and I had a few minutes here, I thought I would just kind of quick show it. The other character that I could say, I guess since we have a few minutes, do I actually have anything I can show off here for the last 5 minutes of the show? I don't really think so. So I guess let me just pop on in and do a little bit of combat for funsies. Tofu should be my future. Yeah, I actually have characters named Tofu. So there may be a few people here who are going to know what I'm talking about. My characters' names are like Saitan, Mock Duck, Tofu, Bean Paste is another name I've used over the years. Kind of sensing a theme, maybe, you know, I'm just saying, kind of sensing a theme, so. I'm not actually running this quest, I'm just going to do a little combat here for the last 4 minutes of the show, so we're not just staring at Spinning Boulder. Yeah, I can't preview the new cosmetic outfits yet. One, because I am just not prepared to do so. But also because I would need to be on a different account. I would need to be on an admin character. So. And this is just my regular play account. And I didn't want to swap. Right at the tail end of the show because it takes too long to get my admin account set up and what have you. Boom! Take that. I'm actually kind of looking forward to checking out this augment vendor thing. I bet like a lot of you, I bet you've got a fair number of like old Evening Star, War Wizard, you know, etc. ingredients that might be suitable to exchange for augments. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow to see what ends up happening there, and that could be pretty sweet. So I do intend to keep this Paladin's Sword and Board. I kind of like my Sword and Board pallies. I know it may not be the most optimal way to go or what have you, but actually turning on Sacred Defender might not be the worst, or Sacred Defense may not be the worst idea either. So, but like I said, we're just kind of popping in here. Killing a few minutes to wrap up the end of the show. I do still have Beefheart. Beefheart the Vegetarian has been renamed, however. Beefheart the Vegetarian is currently Armagh on Khyber. There was actually nothing wrong with the name. It was just, well, I mean, I guess kind of technically there was, because it is the name of a real person, and, you know, not related to Dungeons & Dragons and all, whatever. Hey, who cares, right? I mean, come on. But, mostly, though, it got renamed back in the day when I got hired at Turbine. I had to rename it due to the tech at the time. Because anyone who had him on their friends list, which, as it turned out, was not a small number of people, would be able to just message me even after I changed servers and what have you. So, due to privacy, employee privacy rules at the time, I had to do something different there. But trying to get rid of these zombies. Alright. Uh-oh. See, like, my failing concentration checks there. How about we do this? That'll work. Oops. I like that shield charge. I know it's not the most popular choice in the world. I find it kind of fun. That's really all there is to that. I like my shield smashing. Find it fun. Alright. I think we're going to wrap it up here for the show. Hope you have a good week. Like I say, stay tuned. I'm going to be grabbing some quick lunch, but then I'll be finishing up the show, finishing up the release notes there, as you saw, taking care of those final corrections and downtime notice and all the other kind of stuff there. So, expect to see that in the coming hours. And we will have a bonus this weekend. I don't actually know what it is right now. I don't have it written down, unfortunately. I apologize. But alright, I think I can log out here safely. There we go. Alright, thanks so much for being there. You missed the Gathering for Buffs. Is that ever coming back? I would love to. I would love to get to Gen Con this year. I don't know if it's possible. I don't think I can afford it. I don't know if it's the right time. I don't know. I don't think 2022 is a year that SSG will be doing anything official. But yes, I would totally expect to see the Gathering for Buffs come back at some year in the future, if not this year. So, Oh, what outfit is this? This is the Borderlands, the Keep on the Borderlands cosmetic set. You get that from the Keep on the Borderlands bundle. That recently went on sale. So, I don't know if it's still on sale, but it will be in the future then again. So, maybe check it out. It's pretty sweet. And it's, of course, it's based on the old War Duke from the Dungeons & Dragons cartoon. Steven, if you do want to get into the chat with Strimtom and Tolero, I'm pretty sure Tolero does talk about player housing in the future. I think largely focusing on the fact that we would probably focus more on existing airship housing short term here. But you can hear her full answer over on Strimtom's YouTube or Twitch channel. So, all right, thanks for watching, everyone. I'll be back next week on all 3 channels, including Twitch, hopefully. So thanks so much for being here, and I will see you again next week, Monday. Stay tuned on social media. Sorry, Monday. I will have info as to when I'm going to do a special live stream. Expect it sometime afternoon, evening. Going to be a nice hangout to celebrate 16 years of Dungeons & Dragons online. Have fun, everyone. See ya.